Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a hard look at a topic many would rather avoid, but one of the demands our attention. As the global tensions rise, especially involving the United States and Iran, the question is no longer just what happens overseas, but what it could mean right here at home. Excuse me. This is a deep dive into the evolving nature of our modern threats and the rise of lone actors and the realities that America may be forced to confront in the days ahead. Now, as we look at the current global climate, especially rising tensions involving the United States and Iran, we have to confront a difficult but necessary question that does not mean for safety of the American homeland. Not just a theory, but in reality. The answer is not simple because the nature of the modern conflict has changed in ways that can blur the lines between foreign battlefields and domestic security. History has already shown us how quickly the line can disappear. On September 11th, the attacks shattered the illusion of a distance and protection in a single morning. That moment proved that threats abroad can become tragedies at home without warning. What we face today is not a repeat of the past, it is something more fragmented, more unpredictable, and in many ways more difficult to detect. The modern threat is no longer defined solely by large organized networks planning in secret. Instead, it is increasingly shaped by individuals acting alone. These lone actors, they may never receive direct orders or formally join a group, yet they can still be influenced by the global events online, narratives, and rising geopolitical tensions. If a broader conflict involving Iran were to intensify, it could act as a catalyst, not necessarily through direct coordination, but through inspiration and the amplification with the emotionally charged information that can spread and push unstable individuals toward dangerous decisions. This is where the concern becomes deeply serious. Lone wolf attackers operate outside traditional intelligence frameworks and they often leave little traces. They act quickly and they choose targets based on accessibility and symbolic meaning. The impact on even one individual can be devastating. It's not just about the casualties, but about the psychological effects of the nation. Terrorism is designed to disrupt and create fear and make ordinary places feel unsafe. When we think about what this could look like on American soil today, the possibilities are unsettling. We're not just talking about isolated incidents, but potentially multiple unconnected events with a shared motivations. These could occur in public spaces where people gather in everyday life. Locations like transportation hubs, commercial centers, and public events are designed to be open and accessible. That openness is part of what makes them vulnerable. It creates an environment where disruption can have a wide reaching impact. We should not assume inevitably, but we cannot ignore the realities of today's world. The scale and nature of the potential attacks could evolve beyond what we have historically experienced, not necessarily in coordination, but in cumulative impact. There have been multiple smaller incidents that could create a larger atmosphere of instability and fear, and this is a scenario that the United States was not fully faced at this scale. In this kind of environment, unpredictability itself becomes the primary threat. Now, when people do not know where or when something might happen, the psychological toll increases and the fear can spread faster than the facts. That uncertainty can be just as powerful as the physical damage. This is compounded by the speed of the modern communications, information, whether accurate or not, spreading instantly. It shapes the perceptions in real time and can intensify the fear before the truth is fully known. Now, in the context of the geopolitical conflict, this becomes even more volatile. Narratives from quickly and emotions run high. Individuals already vulnerable to radicalization may interpret global events as personal calls to action. And this would create a layered threat environment. The danger does not come with a single source, but from a combination of the global tensions, digital influence, and the individual decision making. The complexity makes the challenge far more difficult to manage. This is what makes the current moment different. The focus is no longer just on preventing one large scale event, it is about understanding a pattern of behavior that is decentralized and unpredictable. That requires a different kind of awareness, not fear, but the informed vigilance. Security must evolve because threats are constantly changing. The resilience becomes just as important as the prevention. The goal of terrorism is not only to harm, but to divide and destabilize societies, and which seeks to erode and create internal fractures. This is something that must be actively resisted, and strong communities and clear communication are essential to refusing to let fear dictate behavior, which is a critical part of maintaining that stability. It is also important to maintain your perspective. The vast majority of people will never engage in violence. Most communities remain safe and resilient. But the strength of the United States has always been its ability to adapt. It has faced challenges before and found ways to overcome them. That adaptability alone is one of our greatest strengths. However, the adaptation requires the awareness, and the awareness requires the honest conversations even when they are uncomfortable. Ignoring risks does not eliminate them. As the tensions continue to unfold globally, particularly involving Iran and the United States, we must remain alert. The effects of our foreign conflict can extend beyond traditional battlefields, and they can influence the domestic environment in unexpected ways. This is not about certainty, but about risk. It is about recognizing that the nature of the conflict is changing. Preparation begins with understanding. The greatest vulnerability any nation can face is not the existence of threats, it is the failure to recognize how those threats evolve. The awareness is the first step toward readiness. In today's world, conflicts are no longer confined by geography. Its influence can reach beyond borders, and that reality makes awareness more important than ever. I want to thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the Unfiltered Political Lens Podcast. If you found this breakdown valuable, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next update as these global situations continue to evolve. We will see you in the next video. Peace.